Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well, well-ish, considering it's week 10 of the term, and yikes. I just first want to acknowledge that, yes, that is a baby with a lightsaber behind me. I noticed it was in the background, and I was just making a video for one of my other classes, and thought, why not leave it? So, just do me a solid and keep an eye on it for me. Let me know if anything crazy is going on because it's a creepy baby. Anyway, hadn't made a video message for you in a little while, so thought this would be a good time to do it. Going into week 10, probably a nice time to sort of collect ourselves a little bit. Especially in the sense of, I've been working, as I've said before, like working kind of individually with a lot of you. People are at different places with their writing, with their projects, with their assignments, with the different things like that. So this is kind of a good place to try to pull us all onto the same page again, especially with it being week 10, and we're starting to really wrap this stuff up and move into the final project and final everything. So, with that, let's see, where do I want to start? I only have a few things, I promise, that I want to talk about. First one, I'm going to get into the literature review piece here in a second, but I do want to say right at the outset, going into that, I know I've said this in a few different ways at a few different times, and like the more you say it, the more it sort of like loses its meaning, kind of thing. By which I mean I've been actually trying to compliment and really point out that I've actually been very impressed with your writing. Not just on the literature reviews, but just in general, the article reviews, the feedback that you've given one another. I've been doing research courses now for like 65 years or something like that. And I know for myself, like going through research papers, I mean, can be quite frankly very painful. And I'm going through right now, I'm fully down the rabbit hole in your literature reviews, and it is not painful at all so far. Um, as a whole, I mean, it's very strange because this is online. This is this interface, me staring at my own damn face on the computer. It feels like about as close as I actually get to direct interaction with you all. But through reading your reactions, through reading your feedback to one another, through reading your papers, I've gotten a bit of a sense for you guys, who you are individually and collectively. And I genuinely mean when I say that this class, you all, collectively, the writing that I'm seeing is very well done. I mean, it's really well done. So I just want to commend you guys and know that I'm not paying lip service when I say that. Reading through your literature reviews right now is actually very enjoyable. So with that, let's get into the literature review piece. So, as promised, I am going through them right now, sort of with a fine-tooth comb. I'm trying to spend as much time as functionally I can with your papers to give as much and as good as feedback as I possibly can. I've started sending them back out to folks, basically in the order in which I received them, is the order in which I'm addressing them, and so I'm trying to crank those out as hard as I can right now at the moment. That's really my focus because I want to make sure I get them back to you with sufficient time for you to get the feedback, think about things, work on any revisions if you so choose to do so. I think so with this submission, I'll let you know where you sit with the current draft, and if you're cozy with that, you've had quite enough for one term, you're more than welcome to just simply stick with it. But of course, with the feedback and the this and the that, you are welcome to make any changes, revisions, touch-ups, that sort of thing, and then resubmit. Thing I didn't want to forget to mention about that. So the way it was set up initially in Canvas, again, I've made a slight alteration. It's still going to go through Turnitin, but it's not going to be an external source. So that's only to say that for the official, if you submit a literature review next week, a final resubmission, that it will be a document upload the same way that this one was. It'll still go through the gears of Turnitin, all that. It just won't be a separate page like it had been in the past. And that the other thing that I changed within it is that the official due date was set for Tuesday, the 1st, which is still a good benchmark. Hopefully, the kind of feedback that I'm giving you at this point, should you choose to take it and should you choose to do whatever work you select to do, hopefully isn't going to be too much, not too overwhelming. So with that being said, looking at my calendar, my life, all that sort of stuff, I moved the due date out to the Thursday, I guess it is, the 3rd, rather than being Tuesday. It's not much, but I'm just trying to be accommodating. I know a lot of you have other courses that are also coming to their culmination, and jobs and all manner of things. So I figured just by adding a couple days, give you a little more wiggle room. But unfortunately, I can't go too far beyond that because I've got a lot of papers coming my way from a number of different directions, and I got to have enough time to work with them. So hopefully that helps. And as I say, like, I'm living, breathing, eating, sleeping your literature reviews at the moment, and I'm trying to get those cranked out and back to you as quickly as possible. And sort of on that note, that also makes me remember I want to address that you surely have noticed that within Canvas, as we've done the literature review, as we've been working on this project, the whole time we're going in lockstep too, going through the different topics through the weeks, going through the articles and the article reviews, the presentations, the discussions surrounding those, which have also been very fun to watch and to read through the commentary, that sort of thing. But you've probably also noticed that as far as like the article reviews and discussions, some of those, I have grades and comments and things like that up until, I don't even know, week 7, week 8, something like that. But they're not up to date. That I haven't put in the grades and the things like that for some of the more recent ones. I only bring that up because right now, in part, that is because I'm focusing my time and energies on the literature reviews, because I think that's going to be a lot more, more important and more useful to you at this stage, going into this last chunk. What I can say as far as the reviews and discussions, those sorts of things, early on in the term, I tried to make sure I was giving feedback, putting some commentary on things, trying to give some guidance as well as the points and that sort of thing. And then as we moved into subsequent weeks, the your contributions, your work, started to much more reflect the kind of comments and feedback I was giving. So then what I was giving was a little more vague. It wasn't so specific. And so hopefully at this stage, what you probably could extrapolate is that even though these last couple, I still haven't gone in and got the information or the grades, the points, things like that on the article reviews and things like that, I mean, if you know how you were doing in the past and you got my feedback and you saw the points and that sort of thing, like, unless you've changed something like pretty drastically since that time, you could pretty well know what that's going to look like as I get into those and get those put up to date. But if you are concerned, or if you need anything in that regard, of course, just please let me know. I plan to jump on top of those as soon as I can, following going through all the literature reviews, getting that feedback back to you, and final paper submission drafts, things like that for my other classes who are currently the drafts the ones I used to get on paper, you actually could almost like tell, you could see the spots where the tiers had fallen, particularly on like the results, analysis page, that sort of thing. It's a little more detached here from the digital world, but I assume the result is the same. So a lot of that going on, for whatever it's worth. So lit reviews, covered that. Article reviews, article discussions, all of that good stuff. We're going into the last of those now, and sort of wrapping up the last topics for the course. So I'll be getting on those as quickly as possible. What was I going to say about the article? The other thing I was going to try not to forget. So some of the items through the course were very time dependent. So obviously the presentations, those have come, gone, except for the ones that we're doing this week. The discussions have come, gone, except for the ones that we're doing this week. But as far as some of the other work, for various reasons, folks, are missing like an article review here or there, different times throughout the term, that kind of thing. I just want to give a reminder that some of them are time dependent. They can't do much about it at this stage. But if you weren't able to do an article review a certain week because of blah 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 or whatever that is, you are still welcome to go back to something like that and submit something to at least pick up a few points towards it, that sort of thing. I will keep an eye out for those, because as I'm moving along, that'll probably be one of the last things I do for the term, is to go back and find who went back in, filled in some of the blanks, and address some of those things. So if that's something that you want or need to do, please feel free to do that, and I will probably be looking at those right up until going into the weekend following finals week, before I have to have final grades in and all of that. So, okay. I think those are the most important points. I just need to get back to getting into your papers and working on those. So, I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that moving into the end of the term is actually starting to feel really good rather than stressful, though I only have so much control over that. Getting your papers put together, putting a bow on them, polishing them up, seeing the fruits of your labors over time. And always, let me know if there's anything that I can be doing aside from just providing the kind of feedback and that I am. And take care of yourselves, and we'll be in touch soon. Oh God, gotta go.